Welcome students to the lecture series of satellite communication and networking. We have discussed or we have started unit 5 polarization in the last session, and we are going to continue with this unit 5 polarization in this session also. So the topics to be covered in this session, that is the polarization of satellite signals, and second, that is the polarization discrimination. So let's discuss one by one topic related to this satellite communication and networking. Now, basically, what is the polarization of satellite signals? So, for a geostationary satellite or a Earth orbiting satellite, for transmitting a linear wave, its horizontal polarization will be where the electric field is parallel to the Earth's equatorial plane, and its vertical polarization is where its Earth's electric field is parallel to the Earth's polar axis. For sub-satellite point on the equator, both polarization vector will be at some angle relative to the reference plane. The reference plane for the direction of propagation and local gravity direction is defined in the figure below. Now, as you can see in the below figure is shown as the reference point where the satellite is at the infinite plane and the plane of reference is taken as a normal plane relative to this, and local horizontal plane is shown below, which is with a black line. Right now, we need to derive an equation for this particular signal. So the derivation for this signal, we have taken let k, small k, that is equal to propagation direction, small r, that stands for the local gravity direction, which is shown in the previous figure, and f, that is the direction of normal to the reference plane. So from this figure, what we have discussed, that is equal to f is equal to k cross r. Right, that is the cross product of this k and r, that will be equal to the direction of normal. So whenever we need to find the direction of any normal, as we know that the reference plane, that will be equal to the cross product of the remaining two planes, that is f is equal to k cross r. Now we are defining a small p, that is a unit polarization vector at Earth station, and n, that is the angle between p and f given by the vector. So it is denoted by the angle is found with the help of cos formula, right? So n is equal to arc cos p dot f, that is the dot product of p and f, that is the direction of normal plane, and divide by the its magnitude, which is mod p and mod f. But here p is a unit polarization, so the magnitude of p will be equal to 1. So only magnitude f is defined over here. Clear? So n is equal to arc cos p dot f be divided by mod f. Clear? Now, as the angle between the normal and its plane is 90 degree, then the reference plane, that will have the angle that will be equal to 90 minus cos theta, that will be equal to zeta. So it will be equal to 90 minus n. So it will be arc sine p dot f divided by mod f. So 90 minus n, so 90 minus cos theta, that is equal to sine theta. So it will be having the angle of sine angle of that between p and f. Now, there is one note for polarization of satellite signal, that is polarization vector is always at right angles to the direction of propagation. Now, further derivation is relation between P and E, where P is the polarization vector which we have defined, and E is the polarization of satellite. Right? And VP, that is lies to the Earth north-south axis, and HP, that is horizontal polarization, that is lies on the equatorial plane at the right angles to the geostationary radius AGSO to the satellite. So the cross product, that is G plane, that is equal to K cross E, where G is the normal of plane containing E and K. Right? Now, next, that is we need to find the plane H, that is cross product of G with K is given by H, where H is equal to G cross K. So unit polarization will be found with respect to H vector, that is equal to H by mod H. Right? Now we are taking this satellite from the infinite station, from the geostationary orbit. So the radius, that will be equal to AGSO. So here at the positive x-axis, axis is equal to AGSO. So with reference to this position, we are finding the coordinates of Earth station position, that is Rx is equal to R cos lambda cos B, Then ry is equal to r cos lambda sin b, and rz is equal to r sin lambda, where lambda is the latitude of our station and b is the difference of longitude, which we have seen in the chapter 3 antenna look angles topic. Right, so where b is equal to difference of this longitude of earth station minus longitude of satellite point. Right, so that is equal to angle b. So with the help of this we can find the coordinates of earth station, right, beyond this polarization when we know the polarization p. Now next, how we can find the polarization of satellite signals. So now we have find out the coordinates of this gravitation of the earth station. So with the help of this, the local gravity direction, it is having the point which is in the opposite direction, that is r is equal to minus r. Right, so the coordinates of the direction of propagation which we need to find, that is k, right, in the figure. So as you can see, kx is equal to rx minus agso, and ky and kz will be respectively ry and rz. So as you can see from this figure, in figure it has been shown that the agso, that is the radius of geostationary orbit at that particular point, and for this the g and h plane and the normal plane, that is e. Right, so with reference to E and G and E, the normal plane which we will find, that is equal to H, and H is nothing but the unit polarization vector of the satellite signals, and K is the polarization direction with respect to the earth station. Now next topic, that is the polarization discrimination. So basically what is polarization discrimination? So the propagation path of a signal has to go through the ionosphere in order to reach the satellite from earth station and vice versa. This signal sometimes also pass through clouds, rain crystals, rain, etc. All these factors alter the polarization of a signal. Sometimes an additional orthogonal signal might be generated, leading to the effect of depolarization. And two measures are used to calculate to the effect of depolarization. First, that is the cross polarization discrimination, and second, that is the polarization isolation, which we will discuss one by one. So first start with the cross polarization discrimination, which is denoted by X, P, and D. Right, so what does this XPD or cross polarization discrimination means? So it is the most widely used measure. The transmitted signal field has a magnitude E1 before it enters the medium, and on entering the medium, E1 gets depolarized. That means it will break into some loss that will be differentiated into E11 part and E12 part. So if the power is the same of E1, right, so the copolar component is having the magnitude E12, and the cross polar component, right, which has been polarized or depolarized from the E1 signal, that is denoted by E12 after traveling from the medium. So the XPD in decibels is denoted by 20 log E11 by E12. Now, so as you can see in this figure, this figure is shown for the polarization discrimination. So there is a one signal having the energy E1, right? It is passed through this depolarizing medium, and from the depolarizing medium, this signal or this power level is break into two signals, that is E11 and E12. So E11, that is the same component of E1, so it is called as copolar component, and E12 is the opposite component of E1, or you can say normal component of E1. So it is called as cross-pole component of that particular signal, which is E1, right? So this is the polarization discrimination. Next, the second term which in polarization discrimination we talk about, that is the polarization isolation, which is denoted by I. Now, what does this polarization isolation means? So here in polarization discrimination, we have XPD we have taken only one signal having energy level E1. Now in this polarization isolation, we have taken two signals with energy levels E1 and E2. Right? So what does it means? After passing through this depolarization medium, what will happen? E1 will have its copolar and cross-pole component, which is denoted by E11 and E12, right? And E2 will also have its cross-pole and copole component, right? So E21, that will be our cross-pole component, and E22 right? That will be your copole component. So whenever you will find the ratio of the cross pole divided by copole of the second thing, that is called as polarization isolation. That means the second signal has absorbed all the energy, and the signal behind this particular signal will not get any polarization, right? So here two orthogonally polarized signal with magnitudes E1 and E2 are transmitted. After passing through depolarizing medium, the copole and crosspole component exist for both waves. So this is shown in figure, right? Now the polarization isolation is defined by the ratio of received of copolar component to the received cross-polar component. That means in additional I is equal to 20 log E11 divided by E21. Right? So this is the two terms which occurs in polarization discrimination, or you can say as a loss of polarization. First, that is the XPD, that is polarization discrimination, and second, that is polarization isolation, which is denoted by I. Right? So that's all for today's session. Right? Here we have discussed about the two main types of polarization, that is polarization for the satellite signals, the signals which comes from the satellite, what is the polarization of that, and we have derived an equation for that. And next, second, we have discussed the two main terms, that is cross polarization discrimination, XPD, and polarization isolation, which is I, right? And in the next session, we will continue what are the different depolarization mediums through which the depolarization techniques of this polarization will be occur, right? So it will be considered as a loss for polarization, right? So thank you for watching.